Hello, everybody. Yesterday, I watched a movie called City of God. It's about how in this one, what do they call it? Favela, which is a slum in Brazil. But it talks about how um, crime sort of developed in this favela from the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and it showcases this through the life of this one guy who grew up during that time. And he is kind of connected to the events, what happened, because there's this gangster who's basically named Little Z. He starts out being called Little Dice, and Little Dice sort of is part of a gang with some older kids, and the older kids, it's really weird because the older kids include uh, the main character's brother, and Little Dice kills his brother when he's like 9, 10, 11, something like that, um, because he's a psychopath, basically. He's a psychopath. And then later their paths meet a couple of times, and he calls him kid, which is strange because they're about the same age. Maybe Little Dice is a few years older, but not by much. Um, yeah, so very, very strange. And I don't know. I think when the movie came out it was more, I don't know, it was more impactful because it does show a lot of violence, it shows poverty, it shows cycles of violence, and maybe it's really troubling the kids at the end because basically, so little Z uh, wants to control all the crime in this favela, which is called City of God, and so he has this friend called Benny, who is much more well, I mean, the movie kind of is weird because they murder a bunch of people, but the movie presents Benny as being like, oh, very, very chill, but he is also a murderer. But anyway, so Benny doesn't want to kill the other guy who's in control of crime in the favela, named Carrot, and so they don't, and then Benny gets assassinated, basically, because he's friends with this little Z guy. And so it sparks like this gang war, and this one guy wants revenge because little Z killed his brother and raped his girlfriend because yeah, he's not a great guy. And there's this huge gang war between these two for a year or something, and it gets to be so violent that the national media in Brazil finds out about it. Um, yeah, and the main character wants to be a photographer, so he's involved with this whole thing, and that's how he develops his career. But yeah, anyway, so there's a scene where uh, basically there's a huge shootout, and lots of the gang members die, and uh, the one guy from so Carrot has this guy who is supposed to be fighting, as I mentioned, he's supposed to be fighting vengeance because Little Z killed his brother, but he just turns to a life of crime very easily as well, and he actually killed a security guard who was another kid's brother. So the other kid is dying in this war, and this guy's given this great speech about how, oh, what are you fighting for? I'll come back for you. And then as the kid's dying, he turns around and shoots him in the back, and the guy dies. Yeah, so after that, uh, little Z is running away. He's driving away out of this firefight, and he's surrounded by the cops, basically. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be arrested," but he's like, "Okay, take everything, take everything." He has this bribe, and the cops let him go, and then he's surrounded by these kids. It's So these kids are criminals, and Little Z has been trying to control them until this gang war. And then when the gang war happens and it's going badly, Little Z eventually arms these kids. And so Little Z, and he killed he tortured a few of them, and he killed them because one of them because he wanted them to stop crime on his turf. So then Little Z, uh, what did Little Z do? Yeah. So Little Z is surrounded by these kids, and these kids who are like 9, 10 shoot him. And that's the end of the movie, basically. And I guess it's kind of shocking, but I don't know. I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't think that it was a very good movie, you know, because I think it's just a movie that has a great reputation because it's just the hero's journey and some child violence uh, is sprinkled in. Maybe the thing that is unique about the movie is a lot of the actors are actually from the City of God. So maybe that makes it a bit more realistic. I don't know. Anyway, what did you think? Put your opinions in the comment section down below. Bye bye.